The MiG-15, a swept-wing jet fighter, emerged from the Soviet Union in the late 1940s. Designed by Artem Mikoyan and Mikhail Gurevich, the MiG-15 quickly gained notoriety for its exceptional performance and firepower. It was a symbol of Soviet technological prowess during the Cold War. The MiG-15's appearance sent shockwaves through Western air forces. It challenged the long-held belief in Western air superiority. The MiG-15 boasted a powerful engine. This engine allowed it to reach impressive speeds. In fact, it could even break the sound barrier in a dive. The aircraft's armament was equally impressive. It packed two 23mm cannons and a single 37mm cannon. This gave it a devastating punch in any dogfight. The MiG-15's legacy extends far beyond its impressive specifications. It became a true icon of the Cold War. This was largely due to its pivotal role in the Korean War. There it clashed with the best the United States Air Force had to offer. The MiG-15's performance over Korea forced a re-evaluation of aerial combat tactics. It also spurred the development of new aircraft designs. The MiG-15's impact on aviation history is undeniable. Its story is one of innovation, conflict, and enduring legacy. The Korean War became the proving ground for the MiG-15. Its arrival in the skies over Korea in 1950 took the United Nations forces by surprise. The MiG-15 outmatched many of the early jet fighters deployed by the United States and its allies. American pilots, accustomed to air superiority, found themselves facing a formidable opponent. The MiG-15's superior speed and climb rate gave it a distinct advantage in engagements. It could dictate the terms of the fight. Soviet pilots, often experienced veterans of World War II, exploited these advantages to great effect. The F-80 Shooting Star and F-84 Thunderjet, the initial American jets deployed to Korea, struggled to keep up with the MiG-15. The MiG-15 quickly gained a fearsome reputation among UN pilots. Encounters with the Soviet jet were often tense and dangerous affairs. The MiG-15's cannons could inflict significant damage. They were much more powerful than the .50 caliber machine guns carried by American fighters. This new threat forced the United States to respond quickly. They rushed their own advanced jet fighter, the F-86 Sabre, to Korea. The stage was set for a clash of titans. The MiG-15 and the F-86 Sabre would engage in legendary dogfights over the skies of Korea. This became a defining chapter in the history of jet combat. A particular stretch of airspace near the Yalu River became known as MiG Alley. This area was notorious for its intense air battles between MiG-15S and American aircraft. MiG Alley was where the MiG-15 truly cemented its reputation. It became a hunting ground for Soviet and Chinese pilots seeking to test their skills against the best the West had to offer. The skies above MiG Alley were often filled with the roar of jet engines and the clatter of gunfire. It was a dangerous game of cat and mouse, with both sides vying for control of the airspace. MiG-15S would often make high-speed attacks on American bomber formations. They would then disappear back into the relative safety of Chinese airspace. The MiG-15's performance in MiG Alley caught the attention of the world. It highlighted the capabilities of Soviet aircraft design. The MiG-15 proved to be a surprisingly capable adversary. It challenged the dominance of American air power. The dogfights in MiG Alley were not just about technological superiority. They were also about the skill and courage of the pilots. Both sides boasted highly skilled aviators. They pushed their aircraft to the limit in a desperate struggle for air supremacy. MiG Alley became a crucible where legends were forged. The stories of the pilots who flew and fought there would inspire generations to come. The Soviet Union's involvement in the Korean War was a complex and secretive affair. Officially, the Soviet Union denied direct involvement in the conflict. However, the presence of Soviet pilots and aircraft in Korea was an open secret. Soviet personnel played a crucial role in supporting the North Korean and Chinese forces. Soviet pilots often flew the MiG-15S in Korea. They operated under a cloak of secrecy. These pilots were often some of the Soviet Union's most experienced aviators. They were given strict instructions not to speak Russian over the radio. This was to maintain the illusion of non-involvement. The Soviet Union's primary objective in Korea was to prevent the United States from establishing air superiority. They also wanted to test their own equipment and tactics against the West. The MiG-15's performance in Korea demonstrated the effectiveness of Soviet military technology. It also showcased the skill of their pilots. The Soviet Union's covert involvement in Korea had a significant impact on the course of the war. The presence of MiG-15s and experienced Soviet pilots posed a significant challenge to the United Nations forces. This forced a change in tactics and a re-evaluation of air power strategy. The Soviet Union's actions in Korea also contributed to the escalation of the Cold War rivalry. This further divided the world into two opposing camps. The MiG-15, with its sleek design and powerful engine, was more than just a fighter jet. It was a symbol of Cold War tensions. Pilots who flew this aircraft were often aware that each mission could be their last. The stakes were incredibly high, with every sortie carrying the weight of national pride and security. In the cockpit, decisions had to be made in split seconds, and the margin for error was razor thin. This was a gamble where the stakes were life and death, and the odds were never certain. It's fascinating to think about how these pilots managed to stay focused, knowing the immense risks they faced. Lieutenant No Kum Sok's daring escape is one of the most dramatic stories in aviation history. On September 21, 1953, he defected from North Korea, flying his MiG-15 to an American airbase in South Korea. This bold move provided the United States with an invaluable opportunity to examine the aircraft up close. With Lieutenant No Kum Sok's MiG-15 now in their possession, American engineers and scientists meticulously examined every inch of the aircraft. They were particularly interested in its advanced aerodynamics and powerful engine. This close inspection revealed the secrets behind the MiG-15's impressive performance and maneuverability. The MiG-15 didn't just appear out of nowhere, it was the result of years of innovation and design. From its early prototypes to the final production model, the MiG-15 evolved significantly. Each iteration brought improvements in speed, agility and firepower, solidifying its place as a legendary aircraft in aviation history. The legacy of the MiG-15 is etched in steel and remembered by aviation enthusiasts around the world. Its impact on aerial combat and its role in the Korean War cannot be overstated. Even today, the MiG-15 remains a symbol